I'm too tired to
I know. Okay, let me just sing for you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Can you do the interview
Make it
for me,
yeah.
please?
So, we are privileged today that we have a wonderful friend of ours, and her name is Miss Stephanie Rearick. Would you kindly introduce yourself to the world?
Yes, I'm Stephanie Rearick, and I'm the founder and director of the Dane County Time Bank and an organization called Time for the World that's geared toward helping to spread the word about cooperative economic tools and share resources, lower barriers to adopting some more cooperative ways of exchanging our resources and supporting each other.
Wow. And I believe that you are part of this Economic Democracy Conference?
Yes, so I helped to organize the local action track of the Economic Democracy Conference to highlight there's amazing work happening around Madison and Dane County with cooperatives, collectives, time banking, which is my particular focus, other kinds of complementary currencies, mutual credit systems, community banking. So we're working on pulling together a lot of the pieces, and the conference was a great opportunity for us to work together across these different
And I presume
projects.
you had a workshop, right?
Yes.
And how was the response of the people?
Oh, it was very good. So the workshop was about different kinds of cooperative economic tools and how and what the strengths of each one are, how different ones are applied. So for example, time banking and gift economies, and those things are very good for catalyzing and making visible things that are very abundant, like caregiving, creativity, civic engagement, community building. And then there's some other tools that like price-based mutual credit that businesses can use that help them have more liquidity because they're exchanging credit for goods and services, but they still pay the taxes in the regular currency, in the national currency. So that's another step up in the level of scarcity and the level of like needing to have a little bit of competition, for example, for storefront space in a city. And then there are some community savings and lending models where people can pool their money and save it in a way that it's loaned out at no interest to their neighbors when they need it, or it's loaned out on very favorable terms to different community organizations that people choose to support. So we've been talking about, and then of course there are larger models like public banking and cooperative ownership. So getting a sense of how the different pieces can fit together to really make us greater than the sum of our parts.
Yeah, okay. And how could you explain it in simple words if you were talking to a group of mothers in a neighborhood or a group of students, just say mother, how would you explain specifically time banking? What type of benefit they're going to get with time banking?
Yes. So what time banking is, and a group of mothers would be a perfect person to explain it this way, it's like a babysitting co-op, but for everything. So what it means is we join in a network of mutual credit exchange, and we just give credit to each other. So you say what you have to offer in your community and what you need, and every skill is valued. So whether I'm offering to just make phone calls and check on people, or whether I'm offering to walk dogs, or whether I'm offering to fix a computer, all our time is valued equally. So I can teach you a piano lesson for an hour. I get an hour in my account that comes out of yours, and I can go and spend that to have someone else come and fix my computer next month if I need it. But we don't put a price on our time, and we don't negotiate. We just exchange straight up time, but it helps connect people across a lot of different boundaries because it's just on your common need and asset.
So you would have a bank, really more like a database?
Yes, it's exactly
of people's
what it is.
names and their hours that they have given and exchanged?
And their offers and requests, and
That's
that's
so
exactly
exciting.
how it works. Yeah, it's simple, and that's part of what drew me to it because I realized, well, this is quite elegant.
And so those hours that you have accumulated that you haven't collected, is that connected to your gift economy?
So a gift economy would be just a similar way of exchanging, but you don't record it. You don't have a formal recording mechanism. So in traditional gift economies, for example, the one that I've learned a little bit about from an anthropologist friend of mine is the economy of the Bushmen of the Kalahari, where they need a lot of land to meet the basic needs of people because of the conditions, because of the arid conditions. And so they exchange actually beaded jewelry and things a bit. So they have an informal network of exchange, and then the way that people sort of record and keep things in check is by really talking a lot, like kind of gossiping a lot about who's pulling their weight, who's not, and people, will choose to exchange less with someone if they're not pulling their weight. So that's sort of a mechanism in a really in an informal gift economy. And then time banking kind of formalizes that a little bit and changes the dynamic a little bit, because instead of having to, instead of having that mechanism of the social mechanisms of ostracizing people if they're not pulling their weight, or like really evaluating how people are doing, you just have it recorded. This person has spent this many hours, this person has earned this many hours.
So you would say that this is a simple economics
Yes.
that every village or every town, small towns in the country can utilize.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, people throughout human history have supported each other to meet our needs and have been interdependent and also self-reliant as a community because they've had to be, and we've just gotten away from that. So time banking kind of takes where we are now and creates a mechanism to go back toward that in a way.
And it does eliminate middleman.
Totally, yes, and mutual credit doesn't have to be just in straight up time. So then here's where we expand on that, such as we did in the workshop. So we exchange straight up time for the stuff that is very abundant and very cooperative, but then for businesses you can't do that because you have stuff that you have to pay a certain price for. So you can do mutual credit with a price on it. So my business can join in with other businesses, and I could buy a refrigerator from your business for $1,000 worth of credit. And again, it's just like shifted, it's numbers shifting in our account. I'll pay that $1,000 back within the network in goods and services for any other member of the network, and then I'll pay the cash expense of the taxes on that exchange. So then it keeps it nice and clean for tax reasons and accounting reasons, but it increases sort of our ability to exchange as businesses. It increases the liquidity a little bit and takes some of the pressure off of smaller local businesses, because as you know, and a lot of people watching this know, the way our economy is set up with economies of scale, it favors larger and larger and larger enterprises. But this is using mutual credit among the smaller enterprises. We can cooperate to give ourselves more of an advantage as the small local
It makes
businesses.
everyone independent, I think.
Yeah.
From the use of paper money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps.
It helps, yeah. You don't have to get your credit from the bank at interest. You get your credit from the other businesses or individuals in your community who are giving you credit in what they're going to offer in terms of goods and services.
This is so exciting. So if somebody wants to understand it even better, is there a contact information or a website that we can recommend to everybody to visit?
Yes. So the easiest place to go to is Build FTW. It stands for Build for the World. We could also say Build for the Win if we'd like. And it's a place where we're sharing community problem solving initiatives and what people are doing and how it's working, and their supporting materials and their processes. And then there are links from that will take you to other places. So we're doing monthly work and learn series, and we're posting all of our slideshows online, and we're just really working on getting as much of the information out to as many people as...
And people can put their contact info if they want a personal question answered from you.
Yeah, well, I would say if you want to ask a direct question of me, emailing me at steph@stephanierearick.com is probably easiest. But you can find me through Build for the World.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Stephanie. You.